his opinion has to be in a legal form, and it has to coincide with our documents. Other words, an opinion is only an opinion. You have an opinion, Marlene has an opinion, I have an opinion, everybody in this room has an opinion. Well, that doesn't hold up in a court of law.
Can I give you my opinion?
No.
It's very clear, it's written in the docs that way, and it's very clear what the lawyer said. And there's like 3 different times he reiterated the same thing. Okay, it's common area. What we're working on now is the only way to legally find somebody if they don't want to do it is to change our documents, to get an amendment. And so he's working on drafting a letter, and if we can get a 2/3 vote of the community, we can make it such that people have to do it themselves. Why? Because it is an expense. I got 3 estimates that are only about $4,000 to do the whole neighborhood. Really, it requires probably doing it twice a year. I mean, we could do it once a year, but if people are willing to do it on their own, we can eliminate that expense and the hassle of getting contractors in here and all that. You know, you're right, the lawyer made it very clear, we have to go through the proper procedure to change things. And that's that. So, I mean, in the meantime, you don't have to do your sidewalk, but if you'd like to, it'd be appreciated. After all I said and everything we did, I went out and spent $350 on a power washer. I need it anyway. I'm holding a mic and I'm talking without it. Let me, I don't need it. I'm yelling in Sue's ear. No, I'm not done. I still went and got a power, no. I bought a power washer, a Northern tool and equipment, and it was $350, and I just did the sidewalk and the gutter. I don't mind doing it. It is the association's responsibility. That's very clear, okay? Yeah, it's very clear. And it is common area. You have permission to clean the common area, you know, as you wish, okay? I like to keep it neat. I want the house to look
Bill,
good.
you're giving an opinion that is your opinion.
If a lawyer gives you, if a doctor gives you an opinion, whether it's on some kind of special form, it's a doctor's opinion. The lawyer gives you an opinion, it's a legal opinion. He's a lawyer, and he specializes in HOA law. I'm not going to argue about that. It is very clear, it's shown on the survey map, all that stuff. So I'm not going to argue again about this. The problem is we have to go through the right procedure.
But this is why we went to the attorney in the first place.
Yeah, but you went 3 times. If you listened to me in the first place, we wouldn't have had to spend a dime on
if
the
you
bus.
watch look at the documents, the attuperances mean everything that was attached to your property. Appurtenances, pardon me. The appurtenances that were attached to your property became your responsibility. It says it in the documents. This is where the problem lies.
But he did not believe that they were referring to that. Well, okay, Ernie, let's hear your words of wisdom.
My opinion is this. We're trying to eliminate assessing each homeowner for doing sidewalks that some people are going to do. We're going to pay for everybody, and everyone's going to have to pay their fair share.
You don't have to assess
We're trying to eliminate that idea of assessing people, because you have to be assessed.
There's enough money there to do it.
Don't argue with me.
There's enough money there to do it. You got 214 people paying $700-something a year. But, no, I'm not a troublemaker. I'm trying to do what's right. What, because I don't agree with you?
That's the definition of a troublemaker.
There's not a line item on it, is there?
There is no line item there's no line item in our budget for sidewalks or whatever.
Pavement fund.
Pavement does not have anything to do with, we have a road. We have a road fund. That would take care of the gutters.
Storm drains, gutters, sidewalks,
No,
everything.
that the attorney just got through telling you, Bill, that the gutters are not part of the sidewalk.
The sidewalks and gutters are all part of the common area.
No, you're wrong, Willie. I gotta disagree with
All
you.
right, I'm not arguing with anybody until the attorney comes back with what he has. We will go round and round and
With an
round.
amendment, we can change it.
And if we went to Mr. Spears and asked him, and we spent another $500 to go to him, and he turns around and he tells us that's exactly what I meant, exactly what I put in the
Then why did you go to
document.
him in the first place? You could have went to him in the first place.
Well, because you were the one that wanted to go to Mr. DeBose.
I don't care who we go to, it's very common, it's very
Well, too late
clear.
now.
Georgia, just a simple end to this. I think you're playing semantics sometimes with opinions and interpretations.
That's how it usually ends.
And a legal mind's interpretation is based on law. Okay? It's not an opinion based on whether he likes you better or likes me better. So, Mr. DeBose, really, that was an opinion that he rendered. That was an interpretation of reading our documents. Okay?
There was an interpretation at reading a plot plan. He did not
Oh,
look at
and
our
our
documents.
declarations, and our declarations too, not only the plot plan. And
He
then
did
the other
not
thing,
look at the documents, he looked at a plot plan and drew an opinion.
well, he mentioned the declaration in his interpretation of our covenants and laws. He mentioned that in the 8-point outline. But the other thing I wanted to mention to you was, when you talk about everything being connected, we can actually, draw an extreme and say, well, in essence, the driveway, the roads themselves are part of our, common element, and therefore
They are.
They are, along with the sidewalks.
No.
And that's
The roads were put in by the developer, they had a
Right.
common area, and the gutters were put in by the developer, and that is why you have a fund for the roads. You
Yep.
do not have a fund or a line item that takes care of the sidewalks, takes care of mowing your grass strip, takes care of mowing your easements. There is no line item for that. That's where the other part of the documents came into play. And that's why you cannot look at a plot plan and make a decision when you when you can go right through the apertures. How many times does it say apertures in it? And I know, what is it?
appurtenances.
Oh, good. Well,
Appurtenances.
one says
Yeah.
apertures, appurtenances, whatever you want to call
Okay.
them. They're attachments. And if you look up that thing in the dictionary, I don't care how many times you look it up or look it up on the internet, it will tell you that something that is attached to a piece of property.
Well, aren't the roads attached to our properties too by ways of the driveway?
No, that's common area.
And so are the
That's
sidewalks.
common area that you pay for in your quarterly statement. You pay into that road fund every time you pay your quarterly assessments.
Okay.
That's the only thing that you pay for that. You pay for all the roads up in front. You pay for all the flowers. You pay for the sign. You pay for the berm. And that is all part of your assessments. And out-of-pocket expense, when you take care of what's attached to your property, which is the grass strip, the easements, the right-of-way, which is the sidewalk, and the easements in the back of your house is attached to your private property, and that's why it states in the documents that it comes out-of-pocket expense. You can do it yourself, you can hire it done, you can do whatever you want, but you're still paying both ways. You pay for your assessments, and then you also pay for that portion of the common ground that was granted to you when you bought your property. And it's a simple thing, and I don't know why everybody's making such a big deal out of it, except they're too lazy to do it.
No, it doesn't have anything to do with laziness.
No,
It
no,
has to
it's
do
just
with
bad
legality.
advice. It's advice from somebody that just doesn't want, and if you look at where you're getting your advice from,
Mr. DeBose?
no, I'm sorry, I don't agree with I never agreed with Mr.
Okay.
DeBose.
So at what point are you going to put this to rest?
We will put
resolve?
this through as an amendment if that's what he says we should do,
Okay.
and that's exactly what
All
we'll
right.
do. Okay,